Hi everyone, so in today's video I thought I'd show you a couple of embossing folders which I'd overlooked in the new annual catalogue. So on page 154 and 55 of the new catalogue, we have all our current embossing folders. And down here on page 155, you've got this one here that's called Thanks and Hello. And it's sized to fit in our mini Stampin die cutting machine, but obviously will fit in the bigger one or any other machine that you may own. And I overlooked this originally when I went through the catalogue. I know it's only because I was looking for something recently. I spotted it, so I've bought it, and I just thought I would show it you today and try and make a couple of cards. So here they are. Stampin' Cut is for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but any die cutting machine will do. It's called Thanks and Hello, and it's 2 folders. Okay, so I'm not sure how well you're going to see this, but everything on one is all thanks in all different languages. So danke, grazie, thanks, merci, everything, and it's kind of all repeated. And then the other one is all hello, so bonjour, hola, hello, etc, etc. So the other thing I'm thinking of doing is, I don't know about you, but I have this little basket on my desk and I throw bits and pieces or leftover bits and pieces from projects in here. So these die cut shapes are from the recent In Blooms die cut cards I did. These with the foiling on are, I think, from the last kit I showed in a live. And then I've got bits of twine, I've got bits of leaves. These leaves are also, I think, from that last kit I showed. These leaves are cut in our new Evening Evergreen. And, you know, I've got bits of all sorts in here. So what I thought to do, I'd try and make a couple of cards using the embossing folders and what's here in this basket. So I'm just going to put that on one side for a minute and then bring in another basket. So in this basket, what I do, I've got some envelopes at the front. I've got some in colour cardstock cut up, and basically these are A4 sheets of card that I cut into quarters, and I keep those separate at the front because they're the in colours. Then I've got some pre-cut white base cards which I've cut from our thick whisper white, and then I've got black, I've got white, and then several of our other colours across our family range cut generally into quarter size sheets, and then I can obviously cut them down as I want to. So I'm thinking, if I take a base card and then have a look in here and see what I've got. So straight away I can see that I've got, this is from the Artistically Inked, and I think this is Fresh Freesia. So if I bring that out, then if I bring in a piece of Fresh Freesia cardstock and possibly maybe a piece of black, I'm not sure whether I'll use that or not, and then I can have a look and see if I can make anything with these die cut folders. Now, to save some time, I have cut one each of the hello and the thanks, and I've also cut another piece of the thanks which I cut to 4 1/8 wide by the height of the embossing folder, which is, the actual folder is 3 3/8, but the words are about 3 1/8 because there's a little bit of an edge on either side. I'm not sure how well you're going to see it. So it's the height of the folder by the width of the card. So I'm wondering whether I should maybe put some black behind it, like a strip of black, and then put that on some pink and put it on the card. Or do I just put it on the pink and put that on the front of the card and then add the flower, and then I can bring in some of these leaves that I've got in here in this basket. Got all these different leaves in different colours, and then do I just maybe do something like this? What I've also got on my desk, I've got, I don't know if I've got any leaves left. I've got the ephemera pack. There's a couple of gold leaves in here that I've not used. So let's bring those in. So this is just all things that are just sat on my desk. There's a bit of a frame there. Nothing else in there. So let's see. So I'm thinking maybe I might not use the black. I might just stick with the pink and the white. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this layer down to fit on my base card. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. I'm going to take it down to 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. Let's see how that looks. I might actually use a top opening card, I think, for this instead of this way. So that could go on there. I'm not going to stick anything together at the moment. I'm just going to lay it all out. This could go on there, and I could trim this down. That would leave a white border all the way round. I don't know whether I want to use the frame or not. Might save that. Could put the flower. Let's see how these dark ones look. These look quite nice actually. Maybe pop those in there. So the artistically inked, that's what this flower's from, has these little flowers. So maybe, let's see if I can just get this one out. Maybe what I could do is stamp those in fresh freesia on the top half of this card, just so that this card's is not as plain. And there's also some little dots there. Maybe I could use those. So let's just try this and see. I'll bring in some fresh freesia. And I'm thinking I'm not going to put a greeting on this card because obviously I've got all these words on here saying thanks. So I don't think it needs a greeting. Just going to bring in some scrap paper so that I can stamp off if I need to. And I'll start with the flowers and see how this looks. It only really needs to be on the top half of the card because the embossed bit's going to be on the bottom. So I'll just put a couple more. So let's see how that looks. Okay, I'll go with that. So I'm going to close the ink pad up. So this needs to be cut down now to 3 7/8. I think I'm going to leave a bit of a gap, so I'm going to just do a little bit of stamping at the bottom. So I need my ink pad again. I've not made these. This is literally just, I'm just using up what's on my desk. So let's bring this in and see how this goes. So I'm going to stick it flat on this layer, but about 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom. And because I cut it the same, it should line up edge to edge. And obviously try and get it as straight as I can. Now, also on my desk, I've got some of this baker's twine, which is from the snail mail. It was part of the snail mail kit, but the twine combo pack carried over into the new catalogue. So let's see if we can do anything with this. Tie some kind of a bow if possible. I'm going to tie a knot first. And then tie a bow, and then I'll spread the twine out. So I'll make the bow a little bit smaller, and then I'll just spread these bits out just so that they're not, you know, completely level. I'll trim the tails on the bow. So that's how we're looking so far. So if I bring this in now, I'm going to pop this up and then tuck the other bits behind it. So I'm going to use my big dimensionals. So I know that you've all got probably the same as me, bits and pieces lying around all over the place. So leave me a comment underneath this video to tell me whether you're going to try this or not and see what you can come up with. And if you do make anything and you want to post it over on my website forum, then go over there and post your pictures. Right, so let's see what we've got. So I'm thinking that I could tuck something like this, because at the end of the day, the emboss folder is the focal point. So if I'll just bring this up and show you, this is what it's kind of looking like. And then I'm thinking maybe kind of tuck some of those in with it. Or do I leave those and try the soft succulent? Or do I leave those and try the gold? I don't like the gold. I'm going to put these in. With these, I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow wet glue. It just gives a little bit more wiggle room and makes it easier. So if I just hold that for a minute, pop that one in there. I'm going to leave the top bits loose. And then I keep coming back to these. I don't know whether I need to want to put these in. I might put that one in there actually. Like so, and then let's try this one. And then with my embellishments, I've got some of our in colour jewels. So bringing my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use some of the, I use the bigger ones actually. So I'm going to take maybe 3 of the bigger ones and just pop them in the middle just for a little bit of sparkle, and then that can go on there. Oh, I'll pop it up. So I'm going to use some of the edge pieces of my dimensionals to get rid of them. And your edge pieces are great for things like this when you're covering a bigger area. So this will be card number 1, hopefully. And this is literally made from an embossing folder, a bit of card and scraps that I already had on my desk, which were left over from previous projects. So I'll just move everything out of the way, bring my card in, and then just pop that down. So I've got a nice white border all the way around. So that is card number 1. And then obviously if you wanted to, you could stamp inside. You could, you know, the bit of pink I've cut off, I could put just on the inside. Okay, so next card is with the hello. So again, I've already pre-embossed it. So again, I just need to see what scraps I've got left and what I can do with. Now, these 2 flowers I think were from the last kit I showed a while ago on my YouTube channel, and I think they are bumblebee, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to bring my box in and go to my yellows and see if any of these match these flowers. So that does. That does. So it's one of these 2. I think it's this one, which I think is bumblebee, but that one also goes well, which could be so saffron. So I think we'll go with this. So I'm going to bring in another card that I've already pre-cut and scored, and this time I'm going to have this opening this way, obviously because the words all run that way. And I'm going to make this one, I think, a bit smaller, so I'm going to trim some of this down. Let's go to 5 7/8. And then I'll just square this up. It's 2.5. I might make it 2 1/4 actually. Let's see if we can chop a bit more off the bottom. Yeah. So we've got 2 1/4 by the width of the card, which is 5 7/8. It does overhang a little bit. I can trim that off afterwards. So now I'm thinking I might put this behind. So if I make this 2 1/2, I've got the tiniest little border that can sit across here, and then I could leave this one completely white, and then I've got this frame which could go like so, and I've got flowers and I've got leaves, and I've got some bits of dark green leaf here that were cut from a previous stem that I'd die cut. So these could tuck in somewhere. Yeah, so I'm going to make a start sticking. So I'm going to stick this to this. I'm just going to stick it edge to edge, but leave a little border top and bottom. That's going to go on there. Now I've got a bit of baker's twine left, but not much. I could possibly put this way. So like I say, these are just scraps that are already on my desk. I know you've probably all got the same. So just, you know, get some supplies out, get your scraps out and see what you can make, see what you end up with. They may not work out, they may work out, you know, it's just, you just try, it's trial and error, and you're just going to play and use up all those scraps. Like this bow's not looking great, so I don't know whether I'm going to keep it. Again, I'm just going to spread out the strands, trim the tails. So much rubbish on my desk now. Put that there. I'm going to stick this one down because then I can start building the card. Do I want the frame? Do I need the frame? Should I put the flowers on without the frame? Right, I'm going to use the frame. I'll put 3D foam on the back of these, just in the middle, and then I'll be able to tuck the leaves behind. I'm going to put that one there, that one there. I'm going to put a little 3D, a little dimensional just behind this because this is sitting up off the card. So I'll just cut one of these down and that'll keep that from flopping around. And then I've got the darker ones. Can they go in there? Where's my other one? Maybe in there like so. Yeah, perfect. So I don't need the gold ones. I've got the gold ones for another project. Just pop those in there just so they stick out the bottom. So I'll move those out of the way. And then I think for this one, I know these are not pale papaya, but we've got pale papaya, so I think I'll just scatter a couple of the pale papaya, different sizes, around the card. So there's that one. So let me just get the bits off my desk. So 2 cards made using the thanks and hello embossing folders, scraps that were already on my desk, and a little bit of extra stamping using the flowers and the little dots from Artistically Inked. And the only reason I used that was because this die cut that I already had in my scrap box is from Artistically Inked. So what do you think? I love those. I'm definitely going to be making more cards with this embossing folder, and I think I'll probably use it in my June Stampin' Up customer thank you cards, because I just think that the embossing, you know, does most of the work for you. You could literally you know, emboss it and then emboss it again on a piece of, you know, something the size of this pink and have it all running down the front of your card. You know, you could repeat the embossing. But I just think for, you know, leftovers from previous projects that were just sat in a basket on my desk, yes, I have still got a few more. I can make a few more cards and incorporate the bits and pieces that are left. But I think for now, we've got the thanks and the hello and the die cuts that I've used. I think these cards turned out okay. So please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already do so, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.